And take a look at this. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has captured unprecedented pictures of a newly discovered exoplanet. So what's an exoplanet, you ask? That is a planet that is outside our solar system.
Just 4 light years away, a planet may have just lit up, not from nature, but from something artificial. Proxima b has always intrigued scientists, but now the James Webb Telescope just detected a strange glow on its surface. One that doesn't look natural, not a volcano, not reflected starlight, something more, like a city. Is this the first real sign of alien life, or something even stranger?
We've never attempted anything like that in space before. We're going to be entering a whole new regime of astrophysics, a new frontier. And that is what gets so many of us excited about James Webb Space Telescope.
It started like most deep space observations, quiet, routine, and frankly not expected to reveal much. But as the James Webb Space Telescope turned its gaze toward Proxima Centauri b, something strange showed up. On the night side of the planet, scientists spotted faint, grid-like patterns of light, barely visible, yet consistently spread out like a glowing circuit board. At first, the team considered natural explanations. Maybe it was volcanic activity, auroras, or just starlight bouncing off the surface. But here's the thing, none of those added up. Volcanoes don't create clean, geometric patterns. Auroras dance chaotically, not in grids. And since Proxima b is tidally locked, its dark side never faces its star. So reflected light was out of the question. That's when things got even weirder. Using JWST's near-infrared spectrograph, NIRSpec, scientists analyzed the light spectrum, and what they found didn't match anything natural. The glow had narrow, consistent wavelengths, the kind we see in artificial lights on Earth, like LEDs or halogen lamps. And the layout? Symmetrical, patterned, timed. It looked deliberate. I mean, this wasn't just weird. It looked like tech, real tech. The James Webb Telescope, built to peer into the early universe, might have just captured something happening right now. A planet glowing not from nature, but from intelligent life. Proxima Centauri b has historically fascinated scientists for one special reason. It is found in the habitable zone. Orbiting around its red dwarf star, Proxima Centauri, just 4.24 light-years away, this rocky exoplanet lies in the narrow zone in which liquid water can exist on its surface. It is roughly the size of the Earth and seemingly checks all boxes on paper for basic life conditions. But its staircase environment is far from perfect. One major challenge is tidal locking. The same side of the planet faces the star at all times. Half of the planet bathes in constant daylight, while the other half is grindingly dark all the time, causing temperature extremes and climatic stress. And then there are the violent flares of Proxima Centauri, which bombard the planet with rays of radiation, making it seem like both a promising and punishing place simultaneously. Then there is the atmosphere problem. A lot of scientists suspect that Proxima b may have a thin or stripped atmosphere because of bombardment from continuous stellar winds. Without this thick blanket atmosphere, surface conditions could be harsh and unstable. Yet the recent detection of artificial light on the dark side suggests something extraordinary. An intelligent civilization that may have adapted to survive in those exact conditions. If they exist, they may use artificial lighting to simulate sunlight, power ecosystems, or support cities in the otherwise lightless region. In other words, the very challenges of Proxima b might have forced evolution or engineering to push boundaries we can only begin to imagine.
Well, first and foremost, it tells us that JWST is performing better than the specifications. The images are incredibly sharp, they're really sensitive, and we're seeing not only things in the foreground, but all of these background galaxies. And so it's telling us that Webb is going to be a tremendous tool for discovering lots of things about our universe.
What truly sets this discovery apart isn't just the presence of light, but the way it behaves. The glow detected by JWST wasn't chaotic, scattered, or natural. It was patterned, periodic, and remarkably structured. The kind of distribution you'd expect from something built, not born. Scientists describe the illumination as forming grid-like clusters across the night side of Proxima b, resembling the layout of cities when seen from orbit. This level of regularity suggests the presence of engineered infrastructure, such as urban centers, space-based solar arrays, or even orbital habitats reflecting light down to the surface. Even more compelling is the spectral harmonic profile of the emissions. Natural light sources, such as stars or lava flows, have broad, continuous spectra, but the signal from Proxima b showed narrowband spectral spikes, which are common in artificial lighting systems like LEDs and halogen lamps. These harmonics are not random. They're tuned, specific, and deliberate, much like how we design lighting systems on Earth to be efficient and functional. This kind of light signature has been a key focus of technosignature research, the scientific effort to identify signs of alien technology rather than just biology. To top it off, the periodic pulsing of the lights indicated possible power cycling, perhaps consistent with orbital day-night simulation or deliberate energy modulation. Such rhythmic patterns further reinforce the idea that this isn't just some rare natural phenomenon. It's the product of intelligent planning and engineering. Whether it's an alien metropolis or massive light-emitting structures for unknown purposes, the light from Proxima b is now being viewed not just as a signal, but as evidence of intelligence.
Proxima Centauri is the closest star to our planet apart from the Sun, and it is about 4.25 light years away.
I mean, the kind of tech you'd need to shine visible artificial light from over 4 light years away, that's next level. If this light on Proxima b is truly artificial, and so far all data leans that way, it suggests whoever's behind it isn't just advanced. They're operating at a planetary scale, possibly brushing against Type 1 on the Kardashev scale. Now, for context, we humans are stuck around Type 0.7, still messing with fossil fuels and struggling with global energy management. But these guys, they've likely mastered fusion, solar megastructures, or something we can't even imagine. We're talking about a civilization that might have continent-sized power grids or space-based systems designed to bounce light across their world. But here's the thing, it's not just the brightness that's weird, it's the structure. The light appears in grid-like patterns with precise spectral harmonics. That's not nature, that's engineering, and high-level engineering at that. Some scientists even think there could be orbital mirrors or space reflectors involved, redirecting light down to the planet like a spotlight. If true, this would be the first real sign of alien engineering we've ever picked up. Not a signal, not a sound, but steady, controlled illumination, visible from Earth. Bottom line, if this checks out, we're staring at a species that's doing what we only dream of, complete control of their planet's energy. While the artificial light patterns on Proxima b could serve practical purposes, like lighting cities or simulating daylight, there's a growing theory gaining traction in the scientific community, the beacon hypothesis. Could this glow be more than utility? Could it be an intentional act? A quiet, luminous, we are here to the universe? It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Many experts argue that if we were being watched from a nearby star system, Earth's city lights would be one of the most detectable signs of intelligent life. Our glowing metropolises create distinct patterns visible from space, and over time, we've become a source of artificial light in the cosmic dark. Therefore, a thought emerged that advanced civilizations might have been using light for a passive form of communication. Not an encoded message, not a radio wave, but a visible and structured presence. In this respect, light becomes a universal language understood by any species endowed with sight or telescopes to perceive it. Unlike sound or text, light transcends all linguistic and biological barriers. It simply says, hey, somebody's there. If that light was supposed to shine on Proxima b for us to see it, then we might be observing the very first intentional communication from an alien civilization, a cosmic handshake across 4.24 light years. And maybe in their eyes, we've finally looked up and noticed. Whether it's a call, a test, or just an activity carried out by their existence, there is one thing for certain. The universe just got louder, and there is another entity shining into the dark with us. The moment data from JWST hinted at artificial light on Proxima b, the scientific world lit up almost as brightly. But before calling it proof of alien life, the discovery must survive one of the most important steps in the scientific process: peer review. Every reading, calibration, and interpretation from JWST's near-infrared spectrograph is now under intense global scrutiny. Now, independent scientists are trying to replicate the results to remove the possibility of the instruments failing and weed out all conceivable natural explanations. No matter how groundbreaking a discovery might seem, the scientific community insists that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Nevertheless, preparations for follow-up missions are underway. When completed, the Chile-based Extremely Large Telescope, ELT, is expected to be among the initial ground observatories developed with an ability to directly image exoplanets like Proxima b. In space, candidates like LUVOIR, Large UV Optical IR Surveyor, are being expedited as perfect mechanisms to smooth over the study into light-based technosignatures, the new frontier in the search for alien civilizations. Up till now, the road to finding intelligent life used to cross mainly through radio telescopes, listening to distant broadcasts. However, the JWST discovery is now directing attention toward visual evidence, particularly light signals exhibiting unnatural patterns. Organizations like SETI are adapting fast. Instead of listening for messages, they're beginning to analyze light curves, reflectivity patterns, and spectral data that could point to technology. This change reflects a broader realization. Intelligent civilizations may not speak, but they may shine. Light leaves a lasting footprint in space, and now that we've seen it on Proxima b, scientists are expanding the search across other exoplanets. If one world glows artificially, others might too. And for the first time, we have the tools and the precedent to look for them. For centuries, we've stared into the night sky and asked the same haunting question: are we alone? But here's the thing. If these lights on Proxima b are real, that question isn't just answered, it's rewritten. Because if this is evidence of intelligent life, then we're not the centerpiece of the cosmic story. We're just one chapter, and that changes everything. I mean, we'd have to rethink our place in the universe, not as the explorers of a quiet cosmos, but as the newest members of a much larger community. And with that realization comes a heavy question. Do we respond? Do we try to make contact? Or do we stay quiet, watching from the shadows? This discovery has reignited the ethical debate over first contact. Some warn that reaching out could invite danger, from cultural interference to alerting more dominant civilizations. Others say silence is fear, and that communication is the next step in human evolution. But beyond science or strategy, something bigger is happening, a cultural awakening. Ideas we once reserved for sci-fi, aliens, cities on distant worlds, interstellar communication, are now creeping into our reality. Films like Contact or Arrival don't feel like fantasy anymore. They feel like blueprints. Religions, philosophies, worldviews, everything gets shaken. Some will resist, others will embrace, but no one will ignore it. Because this isn't just about a glowing planet 4.24 light-years away. It's about us, our identity, our future, and how we handle the moment we realize we're not alone. So what now? I mean, if there's a civilization on Proxima Centauri b, the obvious next question is, can we go there? Believe it or not, that idea is no longer just science fiction. One of the boldest efforts underway is Breakthrough Starshot, a project backed by Stephen Hawking and Yuri Milner. The plan? Launching ultralight nanoprobes about the size of a smartphone, propelled by laser-powered light sails. At nearly 20% the speed of light, these probes could reach Proxima b in just over 20 years. But here's where it gets tricky. Even if we send something, communication is still limited by the speed of light. Any message would take over 4 years to arrive, meaning a round-trip conversation would take nearly a decade. That's not a dialogue. That's a time capsule. Still, those challenges aren't stopping scientists or visionaries. If anything, they're fueling them. Ideas like generation ships, cryogenic travel, and even robotic terraforming are back on the table. The concept of humans as an interstellar species isn't just a dream. It's starting to look like a mission plan. And the recent detection of artificial light, that's kicked it into overdrive. Suddenly, this isn't about maybe life is out there. It's we may have already found it. The next generation may not just study the stars, they may visit them. They may set foot on Proxima b, on a planet that, right now, is glowing in the darkness, possibly waiting. The news that artificial light might have been detected by James Webb on Proxima b hit the world like a supernova. Within hours, the tale was traveling with headliners declaring it flight of first contact, and debates had sprung up on everything from cable news to Reddit threads. For many, it was a thrill. For many others, it was a terror. But no one could ignore it. This wasn't just another space story. This was to be the nearest evidence humanity has ever had for alien intelligence. Of course, not the whole galaxy has gotten on the bandwagon on this story. The scientific community remains cautiously methodical, with many emphasizing the need for peer review and further validation. No one has ruled out the possibility of instrumental error or misinterpretation. There is an exalted array of scientists who are asking the public to temper excitement with healthy skepticism. But even these skeptics concede, if it stands the test of time, this discovery stands to be considered the most important moment in the history of man. Meanwhile, pop culture has gone wild. Memes, documentaries, reaction videos, and speculative films have all surged in popularity. Movies like Arrival, Interstellar, and Contact are trending again, not because they entertain, but because they now feel eerily prophetic. Artists, musicians, and writers are drawing inspiration from the idea that somewhere out there, on a dark planet lit by an unnatural glow, someone may be watching back. Proxima b has become more than an astronomical object. It's now a symbol, a reminder that the universe is still full of mystery, and we are still learning where we stand within it. Whether this light is a message, an accident, or simply a byproduct of another world's daily life, it has ignited something powerful in us: hope, wonder, and a hunger to know more. The detection of artificial light on Proxima b could be the most profound discovery in human history. Whether it's a beacon, a city, or a silent neighbor, we're no longer alone in theory. We may be seeing proof. Like, share,